Hi guys, my name is Tori. Welcome back, welcome to the channel. If you're new, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and leave a comment down below. So I'm back again with another video after like a month of not shooting. But the reason why I have not been creating content consistently since last time I came back and said I'm finally back is because I have not been in the right mental state, emotional state, and just spiritually I have not been doing okay, and I just wasn't feeling stable rather. And I didn't want to come here pretend I was living my best life, motivate you guys to do what I was not motivated to do at the time. So that's the reason why I haven't been filming. But today I feel much better, and shout out to everybody in the Copper Belt. I'm in the Copper Belt for the first time. I'm seeing the sun is out and it's given me a chance to shoot content because there is a sun. If you're on the Copper Belt, say hey, because hey. So yeah, in today's video, I'm just basically going to be sharing with you guys my semester 2 goals. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Okay, so semester 2 was basically my last semester of year 1, and now I am a whole 20-year-old in year 2, first semester, which I'm really excited to be getting a step close to achieving, to acquiring, to getting a job, to having money and all that good stuff. So yeah, congratulations to everybody who made it. A lot of people made it, and yeah, I'm just happy for everybody who made it, for every one of us who made it basically, because it's been a rough semester, it's been a rough year all year long, and we're in again for another rodeo, but this time around it's safer to say it's not our first rodeo, so we're going to make it. So I'm just basically going to give you a guide on how I set my goals, especially the ones from this semester, because that's what we're talking about, so that's what we're reviewing this time around. So for semester 2 year 1, my theme was self-knowledge and self-control. I basically chose self-knowledge because the more you grow, the more you realize that everything that you learn, every situation that you find yourself into should be a reason for you to grow in your knowledge, in your wisdom, in your understanding and all that good stuff. So I chose self-knowledge because I figured everything that I learned on campus should be for my own knowledge, not just because I want to get a job at the end of the day, but because I'm gaining something. And I can gladly say that I've learned so much this semester already, and I'm capable of applying so many concepts, especially the ones that I learned in common law, to just my daily life, to how I'm handling myself, how I'm handling things out there that have to do with law, and all the other concepts basically just came in handy, which is amazing. Okay. Okay, so the second one was self-control. I felt like I needed self-control because in semester 1, I was getting too attached, too emotional for no apparent reason, which I was not going to go into semester 2 feeling the same way, being all up in my feelings, all up in my emotions.
You're all up in your emotions.
Because, guys, come on, I just needed that control. I needed that control, basically. So heading on to the other part. So far I had a theme, which was basically self-knowledge and self-control. Next, I had a scripture, which is Proverbs 20 verse 13. Do not love sleep or you grow poor. Stay awake and you have food to spare. So I wrote down this scripture, I think 2 weeks down the line. of online learning, because when we started semester 2 we started with online learning still, then we ventured back into like physical learning, which was awesome. So 2 weeks down online learning, I was late for my classes even though they were online. I'm not proud. I'm far from proud, but I was always late because I'm not an early bird. I'm far from that. I'm a late sleeper. I wake up late. That's just me. And I got so used to online learning that when we're doing online learning in first semester, our classes were at 2 in the afternoon. So I would get up at like 12 and start getting ready for my classes, eat, do every little things, prepare my desk, my book, and all that stuff before I get into learning. Then now transitioning into semester 2, where I had to wake up at like 6:30 to prepare for class so that I have my breakfast, and our classes were like class after class after class. I would always sleep, and I would wake up and one of my classes would be over, at least that would be like halfway through. So I just needed to remind myself that a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of hands to rest, and poverty would come to me like a bandit, and scarcity like an armed man. I just needed to remind myself that like it's okay to sacrifice my sleep for the greater good, because I signed up for this. I need this. I'm doing this, I'm already in the game. I can't back down now. I can't be sleeping when I should be up early. So I needed this scripture, and after I wrote down this scripture, it didn't go into, I'm not going to lie to you guys, like I woke up next day and I was motivated. No, it took a lot of other options. I started doing the millionaire goal, which was basically waking up at like 4:30. I did the 4:30 one. I would meditate, I would pray, I would start my day early, prepare, and by 6:30 I'd be ready for class, just waiting to like 8 for my lecturer to come online. And it was good. It started working out. Eventually it started to fall in place, and yeah. So the second part of my goals were basically motivational quotes, and I'm just going to, I had a lot of them. I literally have like an entire book of them written down, but I'm just going to tell you guys, I think, 2 of the motivational quotes that I wrote down. And the first one was, you've got to get up every morning with determination if you're going to go to bed with satisfaction. And yeah, let that sink for a little bit, and it's eventually going to play in your head and make so much sense. It's a really powerful statement. The next one was, change your thoughts and you change your world. I think I wrote down this one in, I think, week 1 or week 2, because I was very motivated already and very determined, but what used to happen was I was not getting the concepts. I'm not even going to lie to you guys, like I got the concepts first day after I wrote this. I did not. I think for like a month or so I pretty much struggled with still getting the basic concepts, because everything was super new. Everything in semester 1 seemed very social. Like it seemed like social sciences, because we had the psychologies, the philosophies, the sociologies. So everything was pretty social. It was difficult at the time because we're not fully used to the concepts. But then we came to this semester and everything felt more business-y. We had economics, we had financial accounting, we had the mathematics thing, the business mathematics. It just felt so different from the theory part. It went way down to like, the more practical things, the more practical side of things. And for me to get the concepts fully, transitioning from something that felt just kind of like basic to something that felt more advanced was a little bit difficult. And I had to just change my thought and not put it like everything is hard. I'm not going to even lie. I complained, I think, half of this semester. Even when we transitioned to like physical learning, I still complained like half of the semester. I think I complained every single day, because it kind of took me to like the last month of learning for me to fully grasp exactly what we're doing, what we're talking about. Not that I didn't get everything fully, but I got bits of it, but just not everything. And at least I felt like I didn't get at the pace that I should have been getting it. So yeah, that was difficult. And at some point I had to just go back to my goals, review them again, change my thoughts, change the way I thought about everything being hard, and just being like, okay, you know what? Maybe if I could get a few concepts and do this and put this in place, change the little things, change my mental state, change the way I'm thinking about things, the way I'm approaching things, maybe it will work out. And I'm just here to say I serve a living God, because it did work out for my good. Even the little things that I thought were very difficult, at the end when I started to figure them out, when I started to get help, when it all started to make sense, I was like, wait, this was not as hard as I thought it was, because these are just basic concepts that I think should be walkovers. And at the end of the semester, there were walkovers, and we did emerge victorious, which was awesome. The last part of my goal setting was basically setting rules for myself. I always do set rules for myself, just because when we go to uni, we're going to an environment where personally I don't have any siblings on campus. I don't have any relative on campus. I don't fully, it's like uni is not kind of a place where you have adult supervision, where they're going to tell you, you can't do this, like they're defined rules set out. No, you can't do this, you can't do this, and you're afraid that, you might run into your parents, you might do this, you might do this, and it's just easy to just get caught up in the moment, do things that you wouldn't do at home. And I have to always set rules for myself, regardless of whether I'm on campus, I'm at home, I'm under guidance, I'm by myself, I'm not being guided by anybody. Because there are certain things that we do that just feels natural and they feel right to do when they're not. But if you set rules for yourself, you define your goals, you know what you want, you know the moment you step out of your lane, that this is not where you're supposed to be. And if you keep going with the flow like a dead fish, eventually you're going to lose yourself in that process. So I had to definitely set rules for myself, which I did. So I'm not going to read out all of my rules, I'm just going to read out some of them. I think most of the things are just basically carry ons from like last semester. I brought them still into like this semester's goals, and some of them are just like additions to what I wanted to achieve, because overall the goal was to be better than I was last semester, or at least to beat my previous record, because at the end of the day you need to realize that you're on a competition with yourself, and your goal should always not to beat another person and not to be better than another person, but to always be better than you used to be yesterday. Coming into semester 2, I was like, I need to still get distinctions, where I got like an A, a B. I needed to get pure A's. At least that was my goal, to just have like pure A's. The goal was to beat the previous goal, and the previous goal kind of seemed to be too perfect to beat. But regardless, I was like, maybe we could do this. And my friends have always said, Tori, you're such a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm just always working towards being a better version of myself than I was yesterday. No matter how perfect everything turned out, there is always room for improvement. No matter how smart, how good you can be, how likable you might be, how famous, how much you could have grown, there is always that extra push to wanting to be better than you were, and that's what I wanted. But I didn't beat that score. And I could sit here honestly and complain about it, but one of my goals for this year was that I will not complain about things that don't go my way, because at the end of the day, despite me having defined goals, defined rules, kind of like a scripted, life that I picture for myself, or that I write down for myself, there is still somebody else that determines my every move, and that's God. So I don't control who He lets into my life, what happens in my life, because I believe now that everything is a step towards something. Every mistake is a lesson for me to grow. Every fail is a reason for me to pick myself back up and push myself the extra limit and go further than I would have gone if I was just walking blindly by my own goal. So yeah, I'm not complaining. I'm grateful we made it. It was an awesome semester, good vibes everywhere, yeah, good people all around, and that was awesome. So coming back to rules, which I think I diverted out of for a little bit, but coming back to the rules that I set for myself this semester. One of them was no feelings, because I feel like in semester 1 I easily got super attached to people. I was agoraphobic, so it was really just easy for me to just I just wanted to be around people, like somebody that just felt safe. That's the only thing that I wanted. I didn't want to be in a crowd. If I was in a crowd, I had to be with somebody, and yeah, that was I. For those of you who know me from campus, I think this is the reason why some people, because a lot of people don't even know that I do YouTube on like campus. But the one thing that they know is holding hands. I remember this one time I talked to this guy for the first time and said, "Oh, I remember you. Yeah, the girl who is always holding hands with oh, which I always used to hold my friends' hands like all the time on campus. I had to hold my friends' hands. I was super nervous to walk alone. I couldn't do things by myself. I just needed to have somebody by my side."
There's some mic I'll shoot in a little bit.
So I was all up in my emotions, all up in my feelings, getting too attached for no apparent reason. It was too early. I felt like I just needed to depend on somebody to always be with people. I basically could not do anything by myself on campus, but I told myself, I said, I can't be this attached to people, because at the end of the day, I came to uni by myself, for myself, with myself. So I can't let my anxiety for people, my anxiety for being by myself, doing things by myself, come into the way of the reason why I came to campus, and yeah, the reason why I was in uni in general. So I said no feelings, no getting attached, whether it's like relationships, friendship wise, and the other type of relationship that I'm not going to mention because my parents watch my videos. I was not going to do that this time around. Like, I was not going to get attached, which I think it worked out pretty good. This was one of the goals that I was like kind of afraid for myself, but I been on campus by myself a couple of times, even though I called my friends and said, "I'm dying," but I didn't die. I survived. So that just goes to show that it worked. This rule, I was like, hands down. So yeah. The other one was no flings. I just didn't want to silly little things, and I still don't want to silly little things out here, because it's these little things that we start that kind of disturb us from the actual goal. Of course, it could feel right at the moment, especially if you're not too sure what you want, or you just want us to be comfortable, to have comfort, to have somebody ride or die with you all the time. You'd think, it's alright. But like, I didn't want that. I didn't have any of that. So I'm still not going to have any of that, just because that's not me. I don't like that. I don't like that. So yeah. The other one was no dating. Yeah, I think I've always had this goal of just not dating in the same environment that I'm in. Even back in high school, now even coming down to uni, I was like, I'm not going to date any person on campus, because that's a distraction, and I don't want to be distracted, I just didn't want to be distracted. So yeah, and I did not date anybody. I'm not saying I won't. I don't intend to, but if it happens, also, it happens, because love happens. If my parents are watching this, I don't plan on dating anyone, at least not for now. Right now, I just want to chill and focus on my goals, especially when I'm on campus, just focusing. I still want to have like fun and all that stuff, but also I just needed definite rules to guide me throughout. And these are a few things. Everything else, I think it's like from still back then, just reminding myself of why I'm doing what I'm doing and why I set these rules for myself. I'm going to link the previous video in the description box so that you guys can go watch it and see some of the rules that I set, most of them that I've still carried on with me. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. That was all that I had. I have so many rules that I set for myself, so many motivational quotes, but these are just a few for you guys to like be encouraged and yeah, I guess help you guys set your own rules as well. I could make a video on how I write down my goals because I haven't yet written down my goals for 2021 because I haven't been in my stable mental state for the past few weeks. But yeah, that's basically all that I had for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing week. I love you. Stay blessed, be amazing, be achieving, set unrealistic goals because now even the sky is no longer the limit. People have gone to the moon and you too can achieve everything that you want, anything and everything that you want to achieve if you put your mind to it. So thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing week.